Getting to your destination typically involves changing lanes, navigating intersections, and turning corners. In each case, you need to think about and prepare for the maneuver before you make it. However, before you make a lane change, know what the lines in the road mean. A white line indicates traffic is moving in the same direction. A yellow line means the traffic is moving in the opposite direction. A solid yellow line means that no passing is permitted. However, a broken yellow line means that it is okay to pass if it is safe to do so. Double solid yellow lines mean no passing in either direction. However, you may cross double solid yellow lines to make a left turn. On the other hand, two sets of double solid yellow lines, 2 or more feet apart, should be treated like a wall and never be crossed. Even when you don't see other cars or trucks around, it's a good habit to signal for turns and lane changes every time. Many times drivers are hit by vehicles they didn't see. If you always signal your intentions, you greatly reduce the risk of being in a serious accident. When you do change lanes, look over your shoulder into the lane you want to enter. Make sure a vehicle isn't in your blind spot. Remember, large commercial trucks have 4 blind spots, right and left, and in front and rear. And when you approach an intersection without a stop sign or signal, slow down and be ready to stop. Whether you're turning left or right, you must always signal your intentions. Signal continuously during the last 100 feet before your turn. When you're driving in a lane that is next to a bike lane, merge into the bicycle lane before making your turn. This practice prevents you from abruptly turning in front of a bicycle that might be traveling in your direction. However, don't travel in the bike lane for more than 200 feet before you make the right turn. You may make a right turn at a red light when there is no sign to prohibit it, but only after you've come to a complete stop. Check for pedestrians and other traffic. When you're on a two-way street with 2 lanes in each direction, start your left turn in the left lane. And when you're turning left at the corner, give the right-of-way to vehicles coming toward you. Also, take an extra second to double-check the second lane. A small vehicle or motorcycle can be hidden behind oncoming vehicles. Many times, you'll make your left turn from a designated left turn lane at an upcoming intersection. When there's oncoming traffic, signal before you arrive at the intersection. As we discussed, double solid yellow lines indicate that there is opposing traffic and that it is illegal to cross them to pass another vehicle. However, if you're on a road with double solid yellow lines, it is legal to cross over the lines to make a left turn into a side street. And finally, when you're on a two-way road and the vehicle ahead of you is turning left into a driveway, it's legal to pass the vehicle on the right, but only if there's enough road between the curb and the vehicle. However, you cannot drive off the road to pass on the right. Except when you're driving in your own neighborhood, you'll often need to drive on multi-lane streets that accommodate two-way traffic. And when you do, drive ahead of or behind the other vehicle. That will keep you out of their blind spot. Again, the blind spot is the area that is blocked from your view with the side or rear view mirror. And when you come to a broken yellow line next to a solid yellow line, the law says that it's okay for you to pass, but only if it is safe to do so. In addition, you may use the lane in the middle of a two-way street to begin or end left turns. Or you can start a U-turn from the middle lane, unless there are signs posted to the contrary. When you're driving on the freeway, 6 broken white lines mark an exit lane. And if for some reason you're towing a trailer on a freeway that has 4 lanes in your direction, you may only travel in either of the 2 right lanes. Now, whether you're traveling a freeway or driving down a city street, it's important to drive defensively. In other words, you need to anticipate that something is going to go wrong. You need to keep your head up, your eyes scanning from side to side, and stay alert. One defensive tactic you should use is to leave a cushion around your vehicle, a space between you and other cars. The faster you're driving, the more of a cushion you need. An adequate cushion gives you time to react if another driver makes a mistake. When you follow another vehicle, allow at least a 3-second following distance. When the vehicle ahead passes a certain point, such as a sign, count 3 seconds. If you pass the same point before you finish counting, you are following too closely. Question: when should you give yourself more following time? When you are driving on slippery roads, towing a heavy load, or when you're followed by a tailgater. There are also other defensive tactics you need to use. For example, when a driver suddenly moves into your lane and cuts you off, simply take your foot off the gas. Try to avoid braking hard. In addition, leave at least a 4-second gap in traffic when you change lanes or merge with another lane. And allow extra space in front of your vehicle when you're driving behind a large bus or large truck, because it's hard to see what is happening ahead of you. When large trucks, buses, and motorhomes approach you, keep in mind they sometimes appear to be traveling slower because of their large size. But stay defensive. Their speed is often an illusion. Drive defensively on residential streets, too. For example, allow extra space to drivers who are backing out of their driveways because they may not see you. And if necessary, use your horn to alert a driver who doesn't appear to see you. Driving defensively is important when you use your vehicle to go from here to there and back again. It's important when you're driving near motorcycles or bicycles, because those drivers are especially vulnerable. This is true even though motorcycles and bicycles are vehicles too, and those who drive them must obey the same laws as you do. When it's necessary to pass a cyclist on the right edge of your lane, leave a minimum of 3 feet between you and the cyclist. In addition, if you need to pass a bicycle in a narrow traffic lane and there's an oncoming car, slow down. Let the car pass, then pass the bicyclist. And finally, allow extra space in front of your vehicle when you're traveling behind a motorcycle. If a motorcyclist makes a mistake or otherwise encounters trouble, you'll have plenty of time to avoid a mishap. Driving requires you to make hundreds of split-second decisions, and many of those decisions affect your own safety as well as the safety of others. However, the Vehicle Code has written certain rights-of-way into the law in order to compel drivers to make certain decisions.